Just say no. Not interested. Express that. What's the worst that can happen? He'll get it, understand it, no pressure, and you can be on your way. Sounds simple enough, but in reality, that is not always the outcome. When actually rejection can ignite suppressed insecurities which will bring out their true colors. There have been times I went from, hey beautiful, to being an HO easy to get into, you're not that cute anyways. That's why you uppity chicks ain't got no man. When in reality, we're avoiding being in toxic relationships with boys like yourself who hear no and result to immature insults. You just confirmed why it was right for me to refrain from giving you my digits. Thank you, sir. There are far too many with such fragile egos, their masculinity can't fathom being turned down, which I'm quite sure isn't the first time, but for some reason, this one is different. This rejection reached the peak of his misogynistic mindset that it sparks an act of violence unnecessary for the situation. Their demons are getting the best of them. How dare you decline my advances? You ain't all that anyways, but since you think you're too good for me, best that I teach you a lesson. And now this lesson only reveals the true colors of themselves, not the integrity of said woman who has every right not to accept your persistence as a compliment when it's tiptoeing on aggression and sexual harassment. Take for instance, Raylan Vincent. Walking home, minding her business, and on her way to her destination, she is disturbed by a man catcalling her as he passes by. She tries her best to ignore in the hope that this will get rid of him when his pride felt it was only right to get out the comforts of his vehicle solely to attack her. Resulting in hospitalization with a broken jaw, he could have just kept driving. But just like the weak-minded group of men that harassed Paris and her sister, were simply walking to their car, also ending in violence, as these men pushed her down, rendering her unconscious, bruised, broken nose, and chipped teeth because they couldn't handle a woman not giving them what they desired, attention. Now fortunately, these two got out the situation alive, but with painful memories, nightmares, and paranoia of any testosterone-prone stranger passing by. Unlike Sandra Bearfield, who refused to date a patron who frequented the establishment she waitressed at. Instead of respecting her wishes, he proceeded to stalk her relentlessly at this belief that she'll come around, eventually. A tricky obsession that was too intense to comprehend that it was just that, obsession. That led Steve Caruso into this destructive direction when he began vandalizing her car multiple times, until that just wasn't enough. Carefully placed on Sandra's front porch, a package that looked just like any other delivery, only to explode, killing her instantly. A pipe bomb constructed to kill the person that insulted his advances. Advances that, if turned down, can result into looking down the barrel of a gun being held by a man who couldn't get past Janice Jackson, not giving in to his mediocre attempts to push up on her. Walking out the bar was supposed to put an end to an uncomfortable encounter, until he, Charles McKinney's persistence, follows her outside. After being denied repeatedly, he couldn't handle the rejection, raised his weapon, and shot her in the chest for resisting his adorations. Such fragility is also the same for the man whose job was supposed to secure the safety of co-workers and customers, yet he couldn't maintain personal insecurities when his persistence to Andrea Farrington wasn't received in the way he intended. Instead of respecting her wishes and securing the premises of the place he was hired and trusted to do so, he instead shoots Andrea 3 times while she was on duty at the same establishment they worked at. When interest turns into sexual harassment, a place of business can feel like a prison. Caroline also felt the need to report her co-worker Christopher O'Crowley of his unnecessary and disrespectful attempts at gaining her affections, resulting into his rightful termination, but rather taking that as a lesson to ease up and show some respect for women, he patiently waits outside one day until he finally saw his target and aimed straight ahead, shooting her once in the head and once in the abdomen. Can't take no as the answer has sealed the fate of far too many women who didn't get out of an insecure man's head alive, or to barely missing the bullets like these women simply having dinner. When this man's advancements wasn't received with open arms, badgering and disrespect was the response to not getting his way.
I'm a killer.
Can you please, can you just walk away, please?
Come on, face, bitch.
Bro, gone.
Yeah, what you talking about?
You're embarrassing yourself.
Words weren't enough of this boy's retaliation. He made his way to the trunk of his vehicle to retrieve what was, in his mind, payback for daring to say no to me. Shots fired and people scatter fear at the peak of their minds, bullets close to piercing the flesh of women who had every right to refuse his advances. Can't eat dinner in peace, can't walk down the street safely, can't deny a coworker access to me, can't have a night out without a man feeling he is owed something from me, can't read the mind of a man who is insistent, uncomfortable I am, fake numbers no longer work, as they are dialed at the moment to ensure your device will glow. Will I be in danger if I refrain from giving him access to my contact information? Will he take it all in stride, you win some, you lose some? Or commit the ultimate crime because I dare to say what he is mentally unprepared in that instance to hear?